Morning folks, welcome to episode number 4, Digging with Dave. So what are we going to achieve today? We're going to be talking and doing a straight line trench. Now, straight line trenching is very important. We use it for various different tasks in construction, drainage, house footings, utilities. So we need to get it right. Okay, Dave's top tip. When pulling a string line between two steel pins, how many times do we see it on site? People wrapping it round 300 million times and then tying it off like the rope in a barge. No. Nice little simple tip, got taught this by one of the old boys. Pull the line tight, go round once, end here. Pull, pull, pull here, grab the line that you've just pulled tight, on there. Pipe layer slip knot, boom. Okay, so we're at the machine, we've done our pre-start checks, we've got a nice straight line to dig to, been sprayed with the line marker spray. What's the first questions we need to be asking? Number one, most important, we need to know if there's anything in the ground where we're digging that can harm us or our machine or other people around. Very important question. If there's permit for digs, we need to get them sorted. Then, let's have a look around, what we got. People walking around, is there any overheads that we can damage, any structures? So check our surroundings, okay? And then, basically we're gonna get the machine set up on the line now and dig in a straight line. So we've got a 600mm bucket. I've took the teeth off because it does make a nicer finish for when trenching. Also, it's very loose ground, so we don't need the teeth. We need to find out where the center of that bucket is. Now, on this bucket, there should be 2 teeth there. I know the center of the bucket is in the middle of those 2 teeth, and I've just put a little mark there. When you get familiar and you're doing a lot of it, you'll know where it is regarding points like teeth and bits and pieces. So that's very important. Okay, next thing is, when we're in the machine, if we don't set the machine level, you're never going to dig your trench level. You'll end up going off. So we need to make sure this machine's level. How do we know it's level? Well, when you're an experienced operator, you can feel it through the cheeks of your bum. You know when that machine is level. When you're new to the industry or a bit rusty, I have seen a lovely little top tip the other day, and I've got one here to show you. I saw an operator with one of these little spirit levels, and they put it where the track levers were, just out the way or on the cab, and it will tell you whether your machine is level. A little visual aid like this to get used to it, to get your eye in, no harm in it at all. Okay, so we've got a line, we've got a centre mark in the bucket, so let's eye ourselves in. So here's a start point here, we'll start here, now let's pull the arm through and see where it ends up on the line. Now it's just drifting slightly to the right. So we've got a king post machine, all we have to do is just move it over a touch, a fraction. Here we go, so start point, all the way through to end point, and that's pretty good in the middle of that spray line, so we're happy with that. Now if we weren't on a king post machine, all we'd have to do is just move over to the left or the right depending on where you're veering off. Okay, so here we go, we're in line, let's double check it again, always double check, boom, center line, let's go. So start point, nice vertical wear blade down. Now we're pulling it in layers, so we don't want to be too greedy, so pull it through in layers, nice and steady. Now that's a layer there, bit in the bucket. Now, rule of thumb, whatever your depth is you're digging, make sure the material is away from the trench, the depth we are digging. I don't mind if it's a little bit further away, especially if we're doing operation works in the trench. So, pulling through, nice and steady, nice layers, nice and smooth all the way to the machine. Now have you noticed I've got the blade behind me? Just for the simple reason it's out the way. And we could drop the blade for a bit of extra stability if it was hard digging. So again, in we go, nice layers, checking to see if there's anything in the ground. Banksmen should be watching us if we're in a sensitive area. So nice layers, so we're just pulling 50, 80 mil off at a time, 100 mil. Whatever we think. Here we go, nice, pulling through, in layers all the way to the end of our stroke, come back. We don't want a massive mound of material at the end, because that's where we've got to start back up again. Okay, another layer, keeping that trench vertical at the end where we start, pulling through another layer of material. Nice, full buckets. Let's keep the bucket full. Okay, let's have another one, and then we'll do a little bit of trench maintenance. So pulling through, lovely. Okay, now what I've done, I haven't started too far away with the dipper arm on a full, we do like to do full strokes, but if you started here, you wouldn't get a square end. It would veer in towards you, and we want to keep a nice square end. So starting here, keeping it vertical down, we can keep a nice square start. Okay, one more little pull now, and then we'll just tidy the sides up. So that's a nice full bucket, material away from the trench. Okay, now let's get it nice and tidy up the top here. So just grading through the tops of your trench. The material will fall in, we can bottom that out. Bottoming out, that basically means getting a nice tidy bottom of the trench, nice and level. So pulling through, lovely. Even the end where we started, just push this material back a little bit so it's all nice and clean, no trip hazards. It's looking good. Now we could even give it a bit of a sealing off with the bottom of the bucket. Just seal off the sides. Okay, little bit there. Look at that there, quarried red tile there. That's worth 50p all day. Okay, so here we go, we've done our sides. Let's just do a final pull through, and away we go. Now, that's nice and level. Now we've got no teeth on this bucket. If we had teeth, you'd leave teeth marks. So what we do is just give it a bottom of the bucket rub. We would lift the teeth up out the way and just rub it with the bottom of the bucket all the way through to the end. That's the basics of straight line trenching. To carry on digging, we just repeat that process again. Keep it tidy, keep it in line, double check. And remember, practice makes perfect. Thanks very much for the ongoing support on Instagram and TikTok. Really enjoy doing it, having some really nice feedback and some nice messages off new starters, people getting into the industry asking for tips. That's why we're doing it, guys, and it's important, and we really enjoy doing it. Thanks for your support from Plant Work Show. It was a great 3-day event. Lots of people come and said hello and introduced themselves and had a go on the Takuchi Time Challenge on the Takuchi stand. It was brilliant. Thank you very much for that. We raised some good money for charity as well for the Lighthouse. So stay tuned for episode 5, and remember, teamwork makes the dream work.